Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be comparing the Hamilton Frogman Khaki diver watch right here with a Rolex, which is right here. You're probably wondering how come I am comparing this diving watch to the GMT. It's because I actually feel like the Frogman has more similarities and is more comparable to the GMT than the Submariner. In this comparison, I'm not going to get into the history and the mechanical functions of, well, I kind of am, but like I'm mainly going to be focused on the physical aesthetics and the way the watch looks and feels. I wanted to compare it to from around $1,000 watch with a, I don't remember how much, I don't know how much these go for now. When I bought this, it was like I think it was 7,800 USD, which is 10,500 Canadian. Aside from the 300-meter water depth rating of the Hamilton, and the Submariner is also 300 meters. So those are the main similarities between the Frogman and the Submariner. It's the depth rating, and also they both have the bezel timer. So there's a few reasons why I feel like these two are more similar. First of all, you'll notice right away they both have polished center links, whereas the Sub has the brushed. Both of these have the polished bracelet. So you can see the bracelets, both polished. I myself prefer the polished center links. I know a lot of people hate it. They like the brushed. I prefer the polished. I like things to be shiny and blingy. And secondly, obviously, this is blue. Has a blue bezel, blue dial. And the Batman has blue as well. And thirdly, and more importantly, the bezel on the Frogman, as I mentioned earlier, the bezel is full. Like some people say it's cluttered. I like it. So it's full circle. It's completely covered with numbers, hash marks, or indices. And the Batman is, here you can see, it's also fully covered. So the bezel has numbers all the way around and has these little dots. So I feel like that's also more similar. And I myself, between Rolexes, I prefer the GMT compared to the Submariner. When I was first shopping for it, I liked the GMT more simply because the bezel was busier. I like really busy things. I like dials. I like clutter. I like lots of stuff on watches. And I felt like the GMT bezel, it was just more appealing to me. So if you're looking something look-wise that's similar to the Batman, well, of course there's other, I don't want to say knockoff, but like homage watches that basically copy the Batman. Tag Heuer has its own Batman that looks similar with, the half blue bezel, half black. But anyways, we're talking about the Frogman today. So because of those reasons, I feel like they compare favorably against each other. Bracelets are a very important factor to me when I purchase a watch. I like thick and chunky bracelets. Both of these watches, I should also mention, you're kind of comparing like, I don't even know the retail price for these or what these are going for. I think it's around, well, when I bought it, it was like 7,800 US. I don't know how much it is now. So 7,800 US dollars equal to 10,500, which was the retail price when I bought this. And the Frogman is around the $1,000 mark, depending on where you get it from. I got mine from Joma Shop. I did have some issues with Joma Shop, but I'll do another video talking about that. But the watch is here, so I'm happy. And what was I talking about? The bracelets. So the bracelet on the Rolex is obviously it's gonna be higher quality. It's gonna be smoother. Like when I run my fingers on it, it's very smooth. It's silkier. Feels very expensive. But the bracelet on the Frogman, even though it's slightly sharper, like when you run your fingers through it, it's very hefty and it feels durable, very high quality. One of my favorite attributes of the Frogman is the bracelet. I like how it's bigger. Bigger is better for me. I like the bracelet on the Frogman more simply because it's wider, and I don't think it tapers. It might taper slightly, but Rolex bracelets definitely taper. It's wider up top, tapers to the bottom. Whereas watches like the Frogman and I think Oris, they both have clunkier bracelets, which I really like. Both have polished center links, which is a plus for me. And now we come to the clasp. But hands down, I like this clasp way more, the Frogman. So so it's just the usual clasp, but the part where you can size it. Ta-da! Wow, so easy. You push and pull, and I don't really know like what the size extension is, but as you can see, it's quite a bit. You can stop any time and have half sizes, full sizes. It's so easy. And during the summertime, I do use that actually, just because your wrist will swell up. So I use this quite often. And now let's look at the Batman bracelet. First of all, this is I don't even know. Is it called a flip lock? Is that what you call this thing? I don't even know. So that's the difference, I guess. Whatever you prefer. Of course, it's great quality, but the GMT has the Easy Link. The Submariner has the Glide Lock, which I think is better than the GMT, but this has the Easy Link, which I always Okay, so it goes this way, which I always tend to forget how to use. Okay, so the Easy Link right now is out. And then to put it back in. Okay, so it's in now, and it's out. So you'll notice that earlier I had it out because I've been wearing it out because it is warmer now. So again, with the issue of the Easy Link is it's set. You can't, once you take it out, that's the size it is. You can't make it smaller or bigger. So when I sized this watch before, I sized it without the Easy Link out, and it was perfect. But then by summertime now, I need to use the Easy Link, and even with the Easy Link, it is slightly too small. So I'm gonna let you guys see. It's all right, but it is hugging a little tight. And when I go outside after a long day, it does leave a mark on my wrist. So I would have preferred this to be sized a little bit better, but I can't because, well, it's an Easy Link. And that's what you get with it. Whereas with the Frogman, well, I had it sized perfectly for my wrist already, like when I got this. So I'm not using the extension right now, but it just feels a lot better. One thing to note is, because there's these two buttons right here, just make sure when you're opening it, you're pushing the right one and you're not sizing it by accident, which I've done a few times. One thing I completely forgot to mention, which I was in my head and I completely forgot. Another reason why I believe these two compare more so than the sub is the second hand. Well, it's a GMT hand on here, but basically both watches have a colored hand somewhere on the dial. For the Frogman, it is the red tip of the second hand on here, and then for the GMT, it is the GMT hand. I hope you can see it. It's kind of underneath the magnifying glass or the Cyclops, but see, it's blue. So both have some sort of color on the watch, which I find nice. I'm a sucker for color on watches, and I also love I like a color orange on watches. Random fact. The size on so this is 40 millimeters, the Rolex, and then the Frogman is 42. But there seems to be a pretty big size discrepancy, especially in thickness. Finishing is superb on the Rolex, of course. And the finishing is really good on the Frogman. The side is brushed. I prefer it more polished, like a mirror, like a Rolex. But it's all good. And I like my watches big. I like them thick. I like them tall. So the easiest way to put it is the Frogman is kind of a mix between a Submariner and the GMT. You get a diving watch, and you also get the aesthetics of the Rolex GMT in this one watch. Obviously, if you're shopping like around the $1,000 price mark, you cannot do better than the Frogman. Longines and Oris tend to dominate the just around the $1,000 mark, but I don't really like the Oris Aquas. I prefer the Longines Hydro Conquest to that. But if you're shopping around the $1,000 mark, I would definitely pick up the Hamilton Frogman or the Longines Hydro Conquest. Great bang for your buck. And I really don't know like how much these Rolexes go for now. Like the price just fluctuates. And but yeah, like I just wanted to compare the Frogman. I feel like the Frogman has gained a lot of popularity recently. I'm a part of the Hamilton forums, and lots of people are picking this up. So I thought I would do a kind of a review and a comparison between like a Rolex and a Hamilton, and it compares very favorably. I love them both. I tend to wear the Frogman right now a little bit more, just because it's bigger in size, bigger bracelet. To me, it's flashier with the polished center links, and I really like the clasp and the adjustments. Anyways, here are both of them. And oops, the light's kind of hitting it weird. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.